true psychopath. When you're lost, take your trust. That's me. That's so sick. I'm a fraud, call me a liar. A true psycho. Ooh. I'm a fraud, call me a liar. A true psychopath, don't love me. When you're lost, take your trust. Yeah, that's me. Oh, that's me, that's me, that's me. Yes, I'm a fraud. Call me a liar. A true psychopath.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so very much. I'm about to bring Jen up and we're just going to get started. Welcome in. If you haven't done so already, give your girl a thumbs up. It helps. What else can I say? If you're new to the channel, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to play yes, these are new jail calls, Allison. They've not been heard before. They are brand new. Nobody has them yet. They are exclusive. Thank you, Elena. Thank you so much. Very much. I appreciate that so much. Very generous. Thank you. All right. So if you're new to the channel, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to play a call all the way through. No commentary, no nada. Right after that call is done, we're going to say what we got to say, and then we'll play the next one and so on and so forth. Okay. After this stream is over, if one of the mods would do me a solid and drop Crime Curious Jen's and Alex Erickson's links in the chat, I would very much appreciate it. After the live is over, the calls that have been played will be will be available on Crime Curious Jen's website. I don't know how we're doing it, if we're doing it after each night, or when we're all done with this batch, we'll put them up. I don't know, but anyways, if you want to watch their calls, or listen to the calls, I guess you can't really watch them, but listen to the calls in their entirety, no commentary in between. That's where they'll be on Crime Curious. Okie dokie, artichokies, let's get started. Let me bring up my girl. Also, normally Allie would be here, Alex Erickson would be here, but unfortunately she can't be tonight, and we're going to miss her. I wish she could be here. You know, I adore my Allie, but I also adore my Jen, Crime Curious. So you just get two Jens, no Allie tonight. Okie dokie. All right. Hi, Jen. How are you, babe?
I am well.
Good.
Well, I just jumped up impromptu, like over on Melissa Jade's live stream. And next thing I knew, there was 2 minutes to go and I hadn't let the dog out, but your intro and all of that gave me time to finish everything. So I'm good to go.
Oh, perfect. We went live. Just me. I hit the live button a little early so that people wouldn't be waiting. You know what I mean? And I felt like
Sure.
the intro would give people long enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing. And welcome, Jacqueline. Welcome. Thank you for joining memberships. I appreciate that so much. It's helps support the channel. Thank you very, very much. All right. So let me just do something really quick and we will get started. I got to just share the screen and then we're good to go. All right. I even have it stopped appropriately at the appropriate place. I'm very on it today, y'all. I know. Don't get used to it, though, you guys. It's just today.
It's a fluke.
Tomorrow might be a different story. It's just today. Yeah, don't get used to it. I'm not going to make a habit out of it. No, just kidding. I'm going to try to make a habit out of it, but all right, here we go. And let me add the closed captionings just for funsies. And we are ready. All right.
Reason I know that. All right, I love you too, sweetie.
Bye.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Love you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, I just wanted to call you to check on you because I heard about Steeler.
Yes, it sucks, man. But nothing compared to what you're going through. So
I know, but I feel bad because I
That's
can't
right.
be there for you.
I don't know. It's okay. I just got a new puppy yesterday.
Oh, you did? What kind?
Yeah, black lab.
Oh, okay.
To be honest, she looks like Louie, and Louie is little.
Oh, yeah? What did
like
you name
almost to the Remy.
Remy?
Remy, R-E-M-I. Yeah.
Oh, Remy. I got you. It's pretty.
Yeah. So, but I was debating whether getting another one, but then Alyssa, my roommate, had just gotten Coco, like a pit bull puppy, so I was like, might as well, like, because it was like I didn't like waking up every morning and not like having anybody to feed and not like going outside. Like it's just everything weird just to get out of bed and just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he would have wanted you to do that too anyway.
That's what I was trying to like say. I was like, maybe I think Steeler would have wanted me to save someone else that rescued it and then to let it enjoy its big yard and stuff. So she seems like she's going to be really good. I took her to my softball game today, and then I took her to Shem Creek, and she did good everywhere. Yeah. How's things been in there? I feel like I haven't talked to you forever.
I know. I think you probably were at work when I tried to get you a few times.
Every time you call me, like I've been at work or something. I don't know. I think most of the time I was at work.
They moved me to medical, so I'm in medical now.
Is that better or worse?
Well, no, I'm pretty much sleeping on the ground now.
On the ground?
Yeah.
Why? They don't give you a bed?
Well, it's a mattress, but it's busted, so like there's no like air in it at all. So it's pretty much just to cover the floor, really.
Huh? Is there like bathroom and everything in there or no?
Yeah, but they put me in here because I was losing my mind again. So
like going crazy again?
Eat for 2 weeks.
You didn't want it?
I didn't eat for 2 weeks.
Because you weren't hungry, or you just weren't feeling good? Like just upset?
You know how like I started like losing my mind last year in November, and then I started losing my mind last year in November, and I like started going crazy, and that's why I didn't work for 2 months because I was freaked out, and then I went to the doctor, and then I got Sadie, you know what I mean, to help me. Well, all that's like happening again, and it's getting worse, and like it doesn't help.
They can't really give you anything to help you, huh? Like there's nobody you can talk to or counseling in there.
Yeah, they don't have that kind of thing here, and so I flooded my cell the other day and went to SD on purpose because I asked them could I go to SD, and they told me no. SD is like SD is like a room you could go to and have nothing but a chair in it, and you stand there. It's for people who act up and fight and stuff like that, right? So they wouldn't take me because I wasn't a behavior problem. So I was explaining to them why I was wanting to go to SD because I told them that Justice was in here, and they just were like, well, you need to stay away from him. And I tried to tell him.
I don't know who that is.
So Justice, like, he started visiting me a lot, Like, when I ran the Jeep off the toilet, he was the one that, like, came. He's a vampire, and so, like, he was the one that bit Colette in court, and I had to leave out of the courtroom on the last court date when I threw up because he bit Colette in the neck and she was bleeding. And so, like, he had done that, and then, like, it was only, like, a few times that he came around, and he came around November last year in my classroom, and so, like, I was out of work for a while, but, like, and then he came around again in January one time when we went on a hike, and he tried to get all of us to jump off the cliff in the hike, and was like, if you jump off the cliff, and God will save you. But, like, God's not going to change, like, gravity.
The outcome of, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're smart enough to know that. So this is not a good friend. This is a bad friend. Kind of.
He's a vampire. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, he took my liver one time, right? So, you know what he told me this time? He was just like, if I give him my lungs, so if I don't eat, I won't be healthy, right? And he might not want lungs and, like, my body parts if I'm not healthy. So if he takes those body parts, then he's trying to get healthy ones. So he came again today, and they just came to my door and tried to talk to me about it, but I don't know. I told them what was going on, and, like, if they gave me, like, a bow and arrow, I probably could kill him, but I made a magic potion, and I got rid of him for a little while. I added cinnamon and milk in the lotion, and I shook it up and made a potion, and then I got rid of him. I got rid of him for a while.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully if he doesn't come back for a while, but they just told me I had to stay in here because if I don't eat or if he comes around, they don't want him to make me do, like, bad things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to get away from him, so I flooded my cell because they wouldn't listen to me when I told them that he was in here yesterday to let me leave out of here. And so then they just thought, you know, like, it'd go away, but it didn't. So I had to take water and, like, put all in my cell so they'd come get me and take me to SD. So I stayed in there for, like, 15 hours.
And you don't do anything. It's just like
Huh?
I don't know. It's kind of like solitary, it sounds like.
Yeah, but at least I was safe, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, they just kept coming to
and
get
you're
me.
safe now in the medical.
Huh?
You're safe now in the medical.
No, this is where Justice comes in here because there's lights. See, he's not like Edwin, right? So you know how, like, Edwin is scared of, like, going out in the sun?
Yeah.
Because, like, he'll glisten in the sun, right?
Yeah.
Well, Justice is not like that. If he goes out, if he comes to you in the light, then he's going to be bad. So, like, I had my pictures hanging up in my other room and then my dream catcher, and I put all that up in my other room, but they made me leave from that room, and they brought me in here where there's nothing, and so I can't put nothing in here, and I told them that Venus gave me the dream catcher. Venus, she helps me get, like, my liver back and stuff, but she gave me the dream catcher and, like, to help me with it, but then they put me in here, and now he's been coming every day that I've been in here.
Huh. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, but I don't know. I got rid of him for a while with the potion, so they were like, if we bring you a regular tray and you get rid of Justice, will you eat? And he was like, I'll give you time to use the phone in your cell if you eat. And I said, okay, but I got to make the potion first to get rid of him because he was sitting on my bed. So it took me like 2 hours or something to do all that. And then he was like, you can call your family and friends now. And since he's gone, so that means I don't have to go to SD, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
did you eat?
I did, but I ate some cabbage and some noodles and some ham.
Okay, so that's good. You ate something.
But I got, like, really sick when I ate it because, you know, I hadn't ate anything, you know?
Yeah.
But they did give me a piece of cake. But see, the problem is they're not going to, they gave me a regular meal instead of the other meals. So they won't give me like the right food.
Like gluten-free, yeah.
Well, they do. They got me on gluten-free, but check this out. They give me corn tortillas that aren't cooked.
Oh.
And they get mad that I don't eat them. And then they give me rice that's crunchy and get mad that I don't eat it. And then I can't order like any pepper or like anything to go on the rice because you can't just eat rice just plain without no like flavor or like tomatoes or like, like salt, pepper, nothing.
Yeah. Well, they're just being, I mean, you're in jail, so they think like they're doing oh yeah, whatever.
Well, see, they'll let you order that on commissary, but they just don't let me order commissary.
Oh. See, that's crap, too. Everybody should be able to go to commissary. If you have the money, then spend it.
Well, they moved me in the ward with all the girls, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, because you were with, oh, no, that was at that other place. You had some guys.
Well, okay, so they took me out of my ward because they're doing construction, and they put me in the ward they put me in the guys' ward where they put all the girls in there. They took the guys out and put all the girls in there. And then they spent all the COVID money on new doors instead of buying, like, new trays for food or helping stuff. Like, they got me with all these people in here who are on quarantine with COVID now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so they took me out of the girls' ward right time I got in there, and like I felt like I was getting like my mind okay because I was doing this Bible study group with this other girl.
Oh, that's awesome.
But then they took me out of there. Then they told me I couldn't fast, and I said, so you're saying that it's a religious practice and I can't do it? And they said I can't do it. If I did do it, then I'd have to sleep on the floor in medical. So it's just,
well, it's not if you fast. If the ones that do it religiously, I thought they fast like from sun up to sun down.
So the Bible tells.
Well, that's like Muslim.
Well, the Bible tells you that when you fast, you're not supposed to tell anybody, right? Because it says in Matthew 6, you're supposed to not look gloomy. You're not supposed to let them know you're fasting. So I didn't let them know because that's what I'm not supposed to do. Because I was just, you're supposed to fast until you hear from God. So if you hear from God, then, not until he gives you what you want, but until you hear from him. And he might tell you something, right? So I was fasting for a while till I heard from him, and they got mad at me. And I said, I'm not supposed to tell you I'm fasting. And then they just, it just caused this big stupidity for nothing. They just like to screw with me. So, and then they were.
Well, you knew they were going to do that going in.
Huh?
You knew they were going to mess with you going into this.
Oh, I know. But they, what they did the other day, they was so bad that...
What did they do the other day?
Huh?
What did they do the other day?
So this lady, when she came and got me from a visit like 2 weeks ago, she went to grab me, and when she did, she like touched my boob, and I went, whoa, 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 move your hands. And she's like, I'm not playing these games. And I was like, I'm just asking you to move your hand. That's like really uncomfortable. You're on one of my private parts. And so she got mad. So she took her arm and wrapped it around my arm. And then she had her hands gripping me and started dragging me down the hallway, and I was in restraints.
Oh.
It was so bad. Her handprints were like bruised, and they were in the form of her handprints all the way around my arm. And then the other lady
is that Draper or something that's always needed?
No, this is just some lady. I've never even walked with her. So then I walked. The other lady that was with me was Jago, and she's in my ward a lot, so she knows me, and like she knows I'm not violent and all this stuff. So then she stops and comes up to my room, and she's like, I don't know what just happened. That was so bizarre. But see, what pissed me off is she didn't write a report about it until that Saturday. So she
did do one then. Okay.
Then she wrote a report Saturday and then wanted to come take pictures. But I had already
showed. Late,
yeah, I showed everybody my arm prior to that, and the nursing staff, and I showed them my legs where she was dragging me, and they had they witnessed it, so they knew what my arms and my legs looked like. But they tried to come and take pictures Saturday. I was like, you're not going to come 5 days later and try to downplay what she did to me. As
you have 1 minute remaining.
So I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, does not sound good.
Huh?
Do you know when the phone tells you have 1 minute, or does it only go on my end?
It just told us.
Oh, okay, so you hear it. I was wonder if she hears it when I do it or not.
Yeah.
Well, at least I finally got to talk to you. I mean, not good that you're not going good, but thank you for calling about Steeler. Yeah, you know, he was my best bud.
I hope
It was hard.
I hope new doggy can bring you some comfort, and I'll call you.
I still wake up and cry a lot, but I'm done. I feel like so.
Tell your mom I said hello.
I will tell her. Tell Justice I'm gonna kick his ass if he comes back.
I know. I have to make all these potions. All right.
Yeah, you keep doing it. All right.
Okay,
Love you.
All
Bye.
right, love you too, girl. Bye.
Okay, so there's that. And before we get into all of that, because there is all of that, I want to tell you guys about something that we're doing. So you know how we got the jail file reports or whatever. So Allie is doing tidbits of Tisha, because she's a little bites, because she's a lot. I forget how she says it, and I just didn't do a very good job. I'm sorry, Allie. But it's so good what she's doing. Okay. So I thought, well, I know that if these situations are going on, right, there's going to be a report. Okay. So to that end, after the jail calls have been played, I decided to do this. And now the truth, because the truth is in the jail files, and I will be more than happy to show you all the truth. So I'll just go through the jail files and make videos based on what the jail files say versus what Miss Letecia says about Letecia, what she says occurred, because we all know Letecia and the truth are not friends. So be looking out for that, you guys. Okie dokie. All right. So now, let's get into it. All right, Jen, what you got for me, babe?
Oh boy, where do I even start? I think I need a tortilla. A tortilla.
A tortilla, but make sure it's not cooked.
Yeah, it's a tortilla, an uncooked corn tortilla.
An uncooked corn tortilla is dough.
So she flooded her cell
Right.
on purpose.
Right.
So that she would be taken out of her cell,
right,
and put into the cell where there's, no bed or anything else. And, this was just another, power play where she wanted to get her way. And, imagine those guards. Those COs, I hope they make enough money, because I can't imagine that they do, not to put up with Letecia for 3.5 years.
No.
Oh,
do you want to
good.
tell people who who Amy is? Give them a little backstory, just in case. Oh, excuse me, to refresh their memory. Sorry, you guys, I didn't mean to burp into the mic like that. It kind of just happened. My bad.
Yeah, Amy's just a friend of Leticia's. She's not a family member, but she's like family.
Okay.
They've been friends forever. And she's the one who, in jail calls, that we heard other places, was real nasty about Landon. So a lot of people who have heard those calls have a real distaste for Amy
Okay.
B. Her last name is Bolton. It's Amy Bolton.
I can believe, I can understand that for sure.
Yeah. And I can't imagine. Can you imagine having this? What if this was you and I having this conversation, and I'm
Listen,
telling you
Jen,
about justice?
Okay, if you started telling me about Justice and Edwin, I would be like, look, girl, Stephanie Myers called, and she said you bootlegging the shit out of her whole Twilight book saga, and she don't appreciate it. Now you need to straighten up and act right. Now you know damn right well ain't no Justice and ain't no Edwin visiting you in your cell. This is poppycock, and you need to quit playing with these people out here.
Right.
Like, how are you going to, what is that? The Great Value Twilight?
Right. And in this one, I heard a name that I hadn't heard before. Venus was the name.
She's got it.
So apparently, last time Justice took Tisha's liver, Venus is the one who helped her get it back. So
Well, Venus sounds like a swell gal and a good neighbor. I don't know what even to say about that. First of all, here's the deal. Okay, I don't know what. Hi, closed reviews. I missed it. I missed you coming in. Hi, babe. Hi, hi to everybody who's just come in that I haven't had an opportunity to acknowledge. I'm not ignoring. I'm just trying to focus on what the poppycock that's coming out of Leticia's mouth so that I can make commentary. Okay. Venus. Okay. This is what I'm going to say. The liver. Okay. Now, y'all, the liver does regenerate. Okay. And it does, but there are some situations and some things that can that damage a liver that the liver will not come back from. But I would like to know, did she by this? No, she couldn't have by this point because that story hasn't come out yet. I mean, what is she doing? Loaning out her liver on the black market? I mean, what is it, like a timeshare liver? That's not even how it works. This is so ridiculous. And wait till y'all, all of this is in the jail files. And because I went looking for it today, and wait till y'all see what's in there around these times. Also, girl, stop telling these people you ain't ate for 2 weeks. Okay.
right.
Nobody can not eat for 2 weeks. That's ridiculous. And again, I have to point out that a uncooked flour tortilla or tortilla is dough. It's not a tortilla until it's cooked. I think what you're saying is warmed. Weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have Justice and Venus. And Justice took her liver, Venus got it back, but now Justice wants her lungs. So her plan is to make her lungs unhealthy so that Justice no longer wants her lungs. That's her plan. But the thing I found most interesting was this part that she threw in there. Remember the month of last November, right?
Right.
And she's so she's peppering, her food may not have any flavor, but the bullshit she uses to put a sentence together sure has some seasoning.
Oh yes.
So she's remember November when I lost my mind, and she mentions that Justice was the reason why she totaled the Jeep. Now another version of that story that she has told is that she thought she saw Harley's dad when she looked in the rearview mirror. She thought that she saw Chance in the Jeep, and that's why she totaled the Jeep. Well, now this version is that it wasn't Chance, it was Justice the vampire, thereby putting her symptoms of dissociative identity disorder pre-homicide. Right? I mean, we know her reason, we know the reasoning for the seasoning, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, so and she'll and we know what Letecia does. Now, we've heard her for the first time tell this vampire story, and she tried it out on Amy Bolton first, okay? Because the last phone calls, so yesterday on Allie's channel, we had Katrina, Brenda, Harley.
Yes, that's correct.
Not a word. Not a word.
Not a peep.
Okay, that was
not
a peep. Right. Calling other people nut jobs, mind you. Okay.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the same day as the previous call, is it not?
No, this is the day. This is the day after.
This is the next day. Gotcha.
Right. She talks to Harley on October 3rd.
That's right. Okay.
And then October 4th is this call that we just heard with Amy.
Well, I can read the screen.
Oh, I can't see the screen. So it's the next day. The call that we're about to listen to is with Sister Amy, right?
Okay.
And she doesn't get enough in the first 15 minutes. So really, the next 2 calls are with Sister Amy.
I see.
So, and I won't do any spoilers, but she does come back off of the vampire thing. The only other thing I wanted to point out, And it's something I forgot to say last night about Edwin. And
Yes.
we all know it's Edward, right?
Right,
Edward
because
is Edward, right?
Edward and
Edward is
Jacob. I mean, Edward
right,
and not Jacob. Jacob is the werewolf. She's talking about Jasper.
right,
Jasper.
right.
Mhm.
But she says Edwin on purpose. And here's why. There is in the El Paso County Jail,
Mhm.
with the toilet talking.
Yes.
They hold the handle down, flush the toilet, keep it held down until
Yes.
there's no water in the lines, and then they're talking to the male prisoners in the male ward, which,
Correct.
by the way, causes other cells to flood,
Yes,
and
it
not
does.
just with water. I mean, it is
It's bad business. It's bad business.
yeah,
I
it's
remember
real bad
watching
business.
the jail something or other on Netflix, and the girls were doing that, talking to their boyfriends through the toilet.
Right. Well, so I guess this would probably be George Glass number one. Anyway, the guy that she talks to in her toilet is Edwin. And
Mm.
he's a real person, and we know he's a real person, and here's why. She gave him Harley's phone number. So that when she gets sent out of her cell and sent to medical, this guy from the El Paso County Jail will call Harley and find out where Letecia is.
That
And
seems
it was
safe.
yeah, that's I'm sure that's a great idea. So his trial was supposed to be in November. I will find out who he is. I will find out what he was in for. I mean, you know me, right?
Yes. Jen will find it.
Don't play with me.
Liam Neeson from Taken ain't got nothing on Jen. He will find you.
Oh, I got you, George Glass.
Coming for you, George.
Right. So, and it was briefly mentioned in the call with Harley last night on Allie's channel, and Tisha says, "Did anybody get a hold of you looking for me?"
Yes.
Or and that's who she's talking about, and it's Edwin, and you'll hear her talk about him again in the next couple of phone calls with Sister Amy.
Lord Jesus. Also, she's talking about these vampires, right? Now listen. One thing about vampire lore is, for the most part, it's very, very similar. There's some rules to being a vampire. And one of those rules is you don't need to eat other than blood. You don't have to actually eat food, right? You don't breathe and you don't sleep. So therefore, you don't need vital organs like lungs or livers. And Leticia's out here just breaking all the vampire rules and bootlegging off of somebody else's story. Like she can't even lie originally. Pathetic. All right, are we ready for the next one? Because we got a lot to go through tonight, you guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm sitting on the floor.
Sitting on the floor.
Yeah,
Using the phone? How you sitting on the phone? I'm going using the phone.
I'm in my cell. They gave me the cordless phone.
A cordless phone?
Yeah, I'm in medical. They made me move to medical. Some
They do
here
recorded?
call people they're quarantining.
Oh, they have COVID?
Huh?
They have COVID?
Cable?
They have COVID? They have corona?
Yeah. Yep. Yep, and I'm sleeping on the floor because this mat they have in here, someone put a hole in it, and so all the air went out of it. It's pretty much just laying on the floor. Yeah, Paul suffered a lot in the Bible too, and Jesus was innocent and still had to pay for something he didn't do, so guess I can't complain.
Well, a lot of times it doesn't do us any good to complain. So.
Huh?
A lot of times it doesn't do us any good to complain.
Oh, because doesn't matter if I complain or not because I don't have, family that can step out and do anything, because my mom, she ain't never really been a mom, and my dad sure ain't never been a dad, so, there's no use of saying anything.
Yeah.
Huh?
I know. That's okay.
Yeah. But you better believe that'd be my mom in here, or my mom getting treated a certain way in a nursing home or something, man. I'd shut down the entire state.
But, I mean, is it really that they're not doing anything, or that the processes they're trying to take to do something is not working?
No, like my mom and them, they could have been reached out to ACLU. They could have been done that. We live in a country where you can't have corporal punishment, and you can't have cruel and unusual punishment. It's considered, you're allowed to do cruel and unusual if you are like convicted and you're in a prison and you might have overcrowding or you might be subject to COVID. But the Supreme Court says it's not like that if you are awaiting something, and I'll be proven innocent. So they're doing all this to they think I'm going to, break down and do something or whatever crazy or something, but they got another thing coming. I'm not, because God has complete control over emotional disturbances and physical disturbances and all that. But it's just that, if they gave a daggone my mom or dad, they could have been reached out to so many people, and they'd have been, this girl in here, man, her mom stays on the people, and she's got the ACLU on her side. Her mom's even reached out to the people at the Supreme Court about all the violations.
Hmm.
So, if I was able to do it myself, they won't let me go to the law library. They try to block the resources because they know that if they block my resources, if I got a chance to go to a law library, you can file motions yourself for certain things. You can even reach out to, different avenues and stuff like that. So that's why they know. And they know from looking at my records that my mom never really was a mom, and my dad sure wasn't a dad. So, so they know I don't have those outlets. So that's cool.
I wouldn't necessarily say your mama wasn't a mama. I wouldn't necessarily say your mama wasn't a mama. She just parented differently.
Amy, let's don't sugarcoat it now. My mom, I don't have the first memory in my mind of anything my mom ever did with me. My mom worked a lot. I mean, I'm thankful she wasn't a drug addict, because a lot of these people in here have drug addict parents. My dad never did drugs. But my mom, she worked all the time. And my mom let us live in situations we shouldn't live in. And my mom really wasn't a mom. She was I was more of like her babysitter. If we're going to be honest about it, I mean, that's just how it was. I'm not saying she didn't love me. I'm just saying, if you look at a relationship you and I have with our children, no, she was never like that, Or like my friend's mom, like if I look at Amy and her mom, no, she was never, whatever. But I forgave her. I mean, she's wrote me letters in here apologizing for how she weren't a mom. But, I mean,
I think, too, I think she was doing the best that she knew how to do in her situation.
something's wrong with his phone, so you got to talk loud. What?
I said, and then, too, she may have been doing the best she knew how to do, and, with the cards she was built, too.
Yeah, but that still don't change the fact of now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why. If it was something she could do I know she still works a lot now, but I just don't understand why. If it's something she could do with a phone call, I don't understand why she wouldn't make phone calls.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you think about it, Amy. Over the last how many years, how much I've helped my mom out. My mom's been in so many binds that I've helped her out. I bought hotels for them back and forth when they were going for Jazzy, going out of town when Jazzy was sick up in Duke. Like, all kinds of stuff. And I'm not saying I do something for somebody, they owe me something back, but it surely don't take a lot of money or anything like that to open up resources. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, my dad, more than anything, has the resources to do it, to, like, reach out. But so it put me in a position where I have to do things that I shouldn't have done just to obtain private counsel. You know? And now I have to wait to get private counsel. Like, I got to wait after this evidence hearing before my private counsel comes on.
So is what Katrina's been working on that?
No, I did it all myself. I did it all myself. Yep.
And so what, did she just like stop or something?
Huh?
And so what, did she just like stop or something?
Did she show up?
Did she just stop?
Stop who?
Like helping Katrina?
No,
like,
it's just like, it's hard because she's not really like a mom or dad or child. And see, I can't put Harley in the situation of doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't put Harley in the situation of handling stuff. She's got enough going on. That's why she's been stressed out, because Aunt Brenda stresses her out enough, you know. And so, on top of that, I mean, Aunt Katrina's back at work, so she had a lot of free time, you know, over the summer or whatever. But, see, like, the thing about Aunt Katrina is she thinks she likes Katie and them just because they contact her or, like, talk to her. But, like, she doesn't realize just how much that they've messed up on, you know. And, like, you know, I told them that Edgar's name would be on our cruise list. And I said, man, that'll give you his name, his address, you know, his phone number. It'd probably even give you, like, credit card information. Like, you know, they could run credit card information to see where people have been at lately or anything. I was like, he was on our cruise. Get the cruise list. You know, I've been telling them that crap since March. And you like, when people are like, oh, well, I don't know how to find him. Well, I can tell you how to find him. You know, and so I had to resort to doing things I shouldn't do just to get the money for private counsel, and I still am going to owe them God knows how much of it out of the civil stuff, which I don't care. I mean, they can have it all, so I care.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
You probably get to a point where you're just like, I just want to get this out of here.
Do I know?
I said, I know you probably get to a point where you're just like, whatever, I just want to get this out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a walk in the park, man. If they, you know, the thing about it is, like, coming in, they still haven't been able to come in. And, like, there's, like, I could give them key passcodes with certain things that I wasn't stupid. I kept everything. And I'm not giving any of that over the phone. I just don't feel comfortable giving a passcode over the phone for someone else to get it. And then, you know, they'll paint it as a picture where it can't be used in court, because then they'll say, oh, well, we can't use this video because of this. So I'm not going to be that stupid. I know I make irrational things, but I had to do it to get the publicity in order to get the money for the stupid attorney. Because the people in Georgia kept saying I had, like, it was the only way. So I got it. I'm up to, like, I probably am going to still, like I said, owe them a crap ton of money. Like you said, who cares? You know, I'll figure all that out later. But, yeah, so when they come on, it'll be $75,000 that will, that they will have, but then the state can turn over everything that they've done so far. And then they'll be able to come in, and then I can give them, like, access to stuff. Because then it should be like a walk in the park with certain things. All you got to do is go find a couple of individuals, you know. So
you're saying if you get private counsel, they're going to let them come in and see you?
there's plenty of private counsel comes in. Yeah. Yeah, this girl named Lauren that was beside me in my old cell, her private counsel came all the time. And she'd go beat them and everything, yeah. Yeah. Private counsel, they're coming in. So there's a lot of people, like the DHS people comes in, like all kinds of different things. Evaluators come in. It's just the public defender's office has a hold on their people coming in. Like, they're not letting them come in. But, I mean, yeah, we can go to court. I mean, go to the grocery store. And it's just me, and I'm quarantined technically from everybody in this facility. Even when I'm in the female ward, I don't have any physical interaction with any of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm touching people to get something. And so, I mean, being a medical would be the most extreme, of it. But I haven't been a medical till now. But I wish I didn't have to wait till after that. But the problem is, like, for the money purposes, it takes a lot away. But then at the same time, the private counsel said that evidence hearings are one-sided anyway, because only one side gets to say whatever, which is the same stuff, bullcrap that they always say, which are lies. So it really don't matter anyway, whether they're there or not, because evidence hearings are one-sided. And so I met the student named Edwin, because I talked to the guys a lot upstairs, or I did in my old ward, because they were the ones that looked out for me for certain things. But this one guy named Edwin, he has a private attorney, and he paid $150,000, or his family did, for him. And he's got my same judge. And he said he came and told me the same thing when I was talking to him, because you could talk through, like, the vents here. You could talk upstairs and downstairs through the vents. And so if someone's near you, you can talk to them through the vent. And so he told me, he was like, I have your same judge, and I went to the evidence hearing. He said, and it's one-sided. He said, and I have a paid attorney for $150,000. He was like, so don't stress about that.
You have 1 minute remaining.
He was just like, get the paid attorney on, make sure the paid attorney's on for your trial. And his trial is starting November. So, I mean, that just shows you that it doesn't matter which. So if I can save half the money, you might as well save it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't have it, and I'm already, like, almost on the IOU. You know what I'm saying? For the remainder. And they have to work with someone out of Colorado, which is not going to be expensive because they just have to use their licensure, so you just have to pay a fee for that. So, but anyway.
Oh, I hate iPhones. Have you been talked to Harley yet still?
I talked to her. She just been stressed about, like, Aunt Brenda aggravating her about dumb stuff. And then I called and find out Aunt Brenda was over exaggerating stupid stuff. And, she's just going to harass her. But I said, they'll come.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Wow. Where to start?
Well, I definitely want to go over a couple of things, but Letecia does call her right back immediately because Amy's just not buying it enough for Leticia's liking.
Can you blame her? Did you hear that? Like, I'm not buying. Listen, even if I was brand new to the world and thinking and common sense, I still wouldn't buy that story. Okay.
Right. And
if this were my
Amy
first day on the planet, I still wouldn't believe that shit.
And Amy did offer a gentle sort of pushback when Letecia was talking about her mom.
Yeah.
And she was gentle about it. But, Amy was with Letecia at that age, where that Leticia's talking about.
Right.
And here's Amy like, was it really that bad?
I mean, really? Because, I kind of grew up in the same house. Yeah.
Right. She was there. And so, and remember, Leticia's mom did jump on a plane and fly to Colorado when Gannon went missing to support her and help her. But, never mind that.
That's not what she needed, Jen. She needs
Right.
big time lawyers who are going to listen to her about this guy on the cruise. She has passcodes. Why aren't y'all listening to her?
Right.
What's wrong
Right.
with y'all?
And Aunt Katrina really hasn't been able to do much for her because, you know, she's not a parent or a dependent. And, you know, Aunt Katrina went to bat for her over and over and over.
Yes, she did.
She was keeping notes. She was telling on guards. She was, you know, dealing with the attorneys. She was, I mean, all of this stuff. And Leticia's like, no, I did it all myself.
I'll just say this. The jail records show that is a lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know that you guys are all very surprised that Letecia has lied once again, but she has. I know. My favorite
Right.
part, though, I think it was at the beginning when she's talking about the only real way to show love is to call the ACLU.
Right.
They can't give you corporal punishment. You're right, Letecia. They're not allowed to beat you. That's correct, or spank you. And they can do cruel and unusual punishment if you're an addict. Letecia, an addict is where you store your Christmas stuff. Okay. An addict is what you're talking about. There's a T on it. Now, I know that you get your T's and your K's mixed up and everything, but the rest of us out here, Lord. All right. So do you think we should just go right into the next one?
Well, one more thing. So
no more
private
things.
Private counsel.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Private
Yeah,
counsel. So private counsel, the number that she keeps telling people is $75,000 is what it would cost to get private counsel, you know, the people out of Georgia. Apparently she's let Jose Baez go. And in October of 2020, she's going to go with the guy from Georgia.
I bet Jose is just really devastated by that. I'm
sorry, he really
Jose.
missed out. He could have really furthered his career.
He really could
and he
have.
Just absolutely dropped the ball, just like everybody else in her life.
Yeah,
he really messed up, not jumping on.
You sure did, Baez. I bet you are full of regrets.
Definitely regrets. He's got a ton.
All the regrets.
So what she is alluding to with her cryptic bullshit, what she had to do something she shouldn't have done.
Yeah, she shouldn't have
to make the money. Now, what she's talking about is her numerous interviews with Lee Egan. That's what she's talking about. When she went to the press to make all this money. So she's trying to say that Lee Egan and Nancy Grace paid her a bunch of money for those interviews.
Right.
And she had to do that. And it's all BS.
They don't pay for interviews, I thought.
Right. And but Amy doesn't know that, so Leticia's gonna say that, but she doesn't.
How does Amy not know that? Look, Amy, now listen, I'm not trying to be judgy, but we are making commentary. Literally, this kind of thing happens all the time with a case that's gotten media attention, and I have seen many documentaries where somebody has offered information. It happened to the West Memphis 3. There was a guy that was going to tell everything he knew about what happened on May the 5th. And it's their policy not to pay for interviews. He wanted money and they said no. I mean, it's like common knowledge. Whatever, Letecia, bullshitter.
Right. And her reason for going to Lee Egan, and especially the September article. So there was an article that was published in September of 2020. So less than 30 days before this phone call. It was, and that's where she dropped the name Edgar and talked about how Albert had this excessive gambling debt, and that's the reason. And that's when she said that Edgar should be in jail for manslaughter and kidnapping, and Albert should be in jail for manslaughter. And
she was doing him a kindness by saying manslaughter. I remember that.
Right. Yeah, she was. And the only reason she was in jail is because she was covering for the both of them. And Albert had promised her that Major Brown was gonna, get her out of jail with all his connections. And the reason she was there instead of Albert is because she has less to lose than he does with his career and with Lena's age.
Right. That makes no sense.
Right.
I mean, you're in civilian jail, ma'am. Major Brown
Right.
can't help you. Okay. Now, if you are, where do they put people in prison, in jail? Where is that? Leavenworth? If that's where you were, is that right? If that's where
Leavenworth
you
is in
were,
Kansas.
yeah, but isn't that where the military jail's at?
Yeah, Leavenworth.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
If you were in the military and you were in Leavenworth, then I could see Major Brown could pull some strings. Right. But no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good question. If you know the answer to this, but go ahead, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No.
Should have been inner monologue and it came out. Sorry.
No.
Developing
the only other
skill.
thing. The only other thing I wanted to mention is, here we go again with Edwin. So Edwin's got an attorney that his family paid for $150,000, and he's awaiting trial, and he already had his preliminary hearing, and his trial starts in November. You like how she said, we talk to them through the vents if they're close because we can hear each other through the vents. No,
She didn't
bitch,
want to
tell
claim
her.
the
You're talking in the toilet. You're talking in the toilet. It's not a vent. Just because
That
you're
was my
breathing the
favorite part.
air, right? Just because you're breathing the air out of it so you can talk to Edwin doesn't mean that it's a vent.
Correct. And now technically you need venting for plumbing to work, but it's not, it's still a toilet. Okay.
It's still a toilet.
Don't be, now it's not the time to get bougie, Tisha. It's not the time.
Right.
All right. Don't be getting bougie.
Right. I mean, I'm sure people have gotten legal advice from worse place than a toilet, but she's really pushing it.
Right. And, I wanted to touch on evidence being one-sided. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain to you, Letecia, why evidence is one-sided. Because the burden of proof is on the state, Nimrod, and they're the ones that have been collecting the evidence. And so when they have an evidentiary hearing, it's because your lawyer is going to argue for each piece of evidence to be thrown out because they don't want the state to have anything. They don't want the state to meet their burden, while the state will be arguing why every piece of evidence that they collected should be admitted. I mean, I thought you knew about law and stuff, Letecia.
Right. And this Edgar stuff with the cruise. Now, she admits that Edgar is not his real name, but, it is this guy that they met on the cruise, and he is real. He does exist. I know his identity. I've never shared his identity, nor will I ever share his identity. But he has nothing to do with it. Of course he doesn't. Did meet on the cruise. It was a complete coincidence, right? That you get on a cruise that ports out of Florida, and
because no cruise is poured out of Florida. This was very special circumstances,
right? But you happen to be on the cruise with somebody who's from, the Palmer Lake area, and they, oh God. So it's just the newest version of Quincy Brown, but she's held on to this Edgar version way longer than any of the other, Eduardo, Quincy, Cash Belly, all of the other stuff. She's held on to this way longer because only a week ago she's dropping cryptic clues telling Allie where to look for this information if she's truly interested. After she accused Allie of being obsessed with her.
In Florida.
Right.
Listen, now I'm not from the Floridas. I think I've made that abundantly clear, but I do reside here. I am from Texas. I have to make that clear. I can't never give up my Texan card. It's very important. But we do have some very, very easy FOIA requests. In fact, some shit you don't even have to FOIA request. It's just right there for you. Okay. If you know where to look. I ain't looking nowhere, Letecia, because guess what? Allie, I saw that text message too. Mm-hmm. And no, what if you just want to look? What am I supposed to do? Just start, randomly calling places, just open up the white pages on the internet and just go down alphabetically? for, looking for information about some mysterious guy that doesn't exist, that there's probably a guy out there with that name that does exist, that you did meet on the cruise, like Jen said. However, no, but he didn't have anything to do with this.
Right.
Yeah, heifer.
Right. And she's so mad that nobody will get the cruise list and finally put this mystery to rest. She gave the information to Lee Egan. She gave it to her attorneys and they didn't chase it down. She pushed it forever, and anybody who looked into it realized immediately that it was just another dead end. But even still today from Topeka Correctional Facility, she's still talking about Edgar. And in my opinion, that's why she didn't speak at trial, because she was thinking forward like she always does. She's never in the moment, right? She believes that she's so far ahead of everybody else and they all just need to catch up.
Correct.
So
what she really needs to do is hook up with Chad. Because if she can be ahead in her mind and you can combine Chad's portal traveling, right? Think of all the places you could go, Letecia. Right. Think about it.
Oh, yeah. She just, I just picture her sitting there at the trial, which, by the way, that is the only other thing that I wanted to bring up. Remember when she was talking about how her attorney during the last hearing, Jasper bit her attorney in the neck. Yes. And she was bleeding, and then Letecia threw up, and then they left the hearing.
Right.
Do you remember in trial when she kept getting the tissue and putting it on her neck and then looking at it? And then this is her playing this same game that she was playing in October of 2020. We're listening right now to the beginning of the shenanigans that she pulled that day at trial.
Now, let me just say this, and this is very important, and I want everybody to hear me and hear me very well when I say this. There is a reason that we requested the specific month that we requested, okay? And that is thanks to Brains over here, who, not me. This time I'm not the brains of the outfit. It's Jen, all curious Jen this time. Knowing a lot more of the backstory, and I always say this, the devil is in the details. It's always the little details. And Jen knows and remembers and retains all of the details, things that you wouldn't think are important, but are. And that is why we requested this specific month. This is the beginning of what the defense would later become at the trial. This month is where it starts.
Yeah, she did have a couple of episodes in September, but nothing to write home about, so to speak.
Right.
So, if you guys ask me, what month of jail calls do you think would be the best to start with? I immediately said October of 2020, because I knew that's when I knew of a letter that she sent to a YouTuber. And the letter was written in October 2020, but she believed, or she was trying to purport that she believed that it was actually November of 2019. And in this letter, she talks about how, Gannon's still alive and they're getting ready to go on a cruise, her and Albert. And she tries to act like she has just some form of amnesia. And she believes it's November of 2019. And she pretends she doesn't know what COVID is. I mean, and I knew all this. She had sent this letter to a YouTuber. And so I knew based on that letter that the jail calls were going to be something else right around that same time, because I know what Letecia does. And I know that she will start a story with one person who's going to be the least resistant. And she'll play with the story to get the reaction, to know where she needs to tweak the story. And then she'll go to the next person, but she's always got a reason why she goes in the order that she does with the lie that she tells. I am not proud that I have this level of insight.
You should be, though, Jen.
I'm concerned for my own mental health once this book is finally out. I was saying on Melissa Jade's earlier, I was like, Truman Capote lost his damn mind. I'm not comparing myself to Truman Capote, but I understand.
Yeah. You might be the next. Listen, don't sell yourself short. Let me just say this. In order to Letecia has a very difficult, it's very difficult to follow her line of thinking because it is so nonsensical. And so most people are just like just say this bitch is nuts and they walk away. But Jen is 100% correct. If you really listen to what she's saying and how she tweaks the story, see, by the time she got to those pretext calls with Al, she had already been working on this, Quincy and all to other people. I believe. I believe she told lots of, we just don't know all of the people that she told because, obviously. But bottom line is she goes through like the hierarchy of people. She starts with the person at the bottom, like Jen said, who's just going to be like, you're right. Tisha Lynn, terrible what they've done to you, like that. And then she works her way up to the person who will say no to her, which I guess at the beginning was Al. And now that he's not around and she can't get to him anymore, I don't know who the next, I would imagine if it's not, I would imagine that actually, if I really thought about it, I would bet you that Letecia's mom outranks Al in that department. I would bet you
I don't
that
know. I think
she's
it probably
probably
changes.
tougher, but it might change.
I think it changes based on the subject matter.
That's a good point. All right. So should we get to the next one? Because we still have what, like how many more to go?
Because we've got a lot to go over.
We have a lot. Okay.
And the next one is just a continuation because she didn't quite get Amy convinced yet. She didn't get the reaction that she wanted. She got a little pushback. So she's going to call her back on her dime, not Amy's dime. She's going to call her back on her dime and make sure that she's told this breakout story, in a, that she wants to, she needs to make sure that Amy's taking her story the way that she wanted her to.
Yes. Think of Letecia like the emperor, less witty and can't shoot lightning from her fingers, right? Less sarcastic and shady, but she's basically recruiting for the dark side.
Right. Yeah. Tell Justice not to come back.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Justice. All right, here we go.
Hey, it should have been prepaid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to finish telling you this. But so, hey, Brenda, I called her and she was like, yeah, it looks like someone's kicked out Harley's window. And I'm like, freaking out. Imagine someone calling you, telling you, looks like someone's kicked out Kenzie's window.
Oh, my.
You're going to be like, what in the heck? What you talking about? So I start freaking out. She goes on this whole story to tell me about this and this. Come to find out, the rubber piece that goes around your windshield? It's a default. And so Nissan had her take it to the dealership. And Aunt Brenda was like, well, I've talked to a lot of people, and they said they've never heard of that. And I said, Aunt Brenda, I had someone call and verify what Harley was saying at the dealership for her work order. And it said her window was a default for Nissan where the rubber was coming off.
Or a recall. So they did a recall.
Right. And so I said, and she was making a big deal about not changing the oil. And I said, the guy said her car was within the oil. I said, the cars these days, Aunt Brenda, you should know, they're 3,000 to 5,000. I said, heck, my car could go 10. I said, they make them these days where you don't have to do it at 3. Like if you got the new ones. I was like, she was within the 3 to 5. So she wasn't doing anything wrong. And she was just stressing Harley out about it. And I said, Harley, I said, when this is all over with, I said, we're going to give her money in cash for that car and tell her to hand you the title over. I said, because, or she could take it and we'll get you a new one.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's going to happen. It's going to take time because this is a process you got to go through, and I'm going to have to go through the suffering and all that. I said, but it's going to happen. I said, so don't you worry about it. Just do whatever she says for now. I says, and when it's all said and done, she can have it back or she can take cash for it.
Yeah, she has always been difficult to work with.
Yeah, and Harley was like, she was telling
For
me.
no reason.
Yeah, exactly. She was telling me, she was like, yeah, and Harley's buying all that money doing film and stuff. So Harley's been going around with Tono, and Tono's been teaching her how to, like, film record. So they've been doing gender reveals, they've been doing weddings, like all these different things. Because, you know, people will pay for that kind of stuff, right? And
Yeah.
Harley was like, I just want to learn it. So then Harley's work that she's already working for, they hired her, like, extra money to do their page, all their marketing for their thing. So Harley was like, Mom, I think I want to change my major to marketing. Now, Amy, you know how we were. We might have changed our minds 5 times at 18.
Yeah.
So my thing is, if she wants to be a marketing, let her be marketing. Who cares? She might she was nursing, then she changed the marketing. And I said, 6 months from now, she might say through this experience, she might say she's going to be an attorney. You know,
Yeah.
I said, Aunt Brenda, all the jobs you had, well, God knows they were all over the place. And you're
eventually you get to a point where you're going to settle down and know what you want to do. But,
right.
I mean, and then, shoot, I mean, look at others.
Yeah.
He went to school all them years to get a political science degree and then ended up teaching school. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, and even as a teacher, I was like, man, I don't want to do this. I want to be a pilot. I mean, then there was a point I wanted to learn Hebrew and work for airlines and fly back and forth because they paid people who knew Hebrew a lot of crap ton of money. American Airlines did. So, like, even at my age, I've changed my mind 15 times. And if
they were paying teachers a lot of money to go to Japan to teach English.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know about that, but shoot, I might consider it.
Yeah.
For the right amount of money.
You can go to, like, Dubai, all kinds of places. And so the thing is, like, I told her, I said, you got to understand, she don't have any kids. Like, she's good when it comes to, like, helping and, like, that type of thing. I said, but she don't have the empathy and compassion because she's never had kids. So in her mind, it don't matter what you do, it's never going to be good enough. Because Lord knows, she wouldn't be where she was at if A, it wasn't for Jesus Christ, and B, if Uncle Tommy didn't work as hard as he did. And you know that's true.
Yeah.
And so, but the point is, and Harley was all stressed about it, and she was like, Mom, sometimes she has my head spinning, I don't know. And I said, well, don't ignore me. She's like, I know, but I didn't want you to get upset because she was telling you about someone kicked in windshields and stuff. I said, Harley, of course I'm going to get upset because the first thing I'm thinking is someone's going to bother you. Then I'm going to have to send out somebody to find out who it is. I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't know it was a default. I mean, wouldn't it sound better as a parent to hear a default if you were a parent? And she's like, Mom, I know. I said, don't do that crap. I'd rather you just tell me she's losing her mind and she's making you lose your mind. Because now I said, then you got me in here losing my mind. I said, and that's why I'm brought back to medical, because I'm losing my mind. So I'm back in medical now. Anytime I have mental breakdowns, I lose my mind, I don't eat, I don't do this, I go through crazy stuff going on in my head. And I said, I just can't do it. Like, I can't end up like I was last year, like November. I was off work November and December from teaching because I lost my mind. Like, legit have lost it. And I just can't end up like that again.
But yeah, Aunt Brenda can be a little
What?
bit extra. Yeah, I said, yeah, your Aunt Brenda can be a little bit extra.
Yeah, and you see how she's doing you for no reason. And then she was she was trying to talk about Dee Dee, but yeah, she calls Dee Dee and tries to be all buddy with her. And I tried to tell Dee Dee, I said, you need to just to see right through her, because you can call anybody else and they'll tell you. But I forgot to tell you, you know that there's a Victoria's Secret outlet in Myrtle Beach now, right?
No.
The true one, like Orlando's. Yep, I forgot to tell you.
Oh, I might have to go. Well, my friend that I'm talking to now, they're kind of like near their cabin, going towards the beach,
yeah.
right? And so next weekend when I go see them, we're probably going to go to that Crazy Mason place that has these new milkshakes.
Yeah.
At the beach.
Yeah.
So So probably gonna go there. So if I go there, then I'll check out this new place. Where's it at?
It's where the old Polo used to be, where Harley worked, because they moved Polo to another side. It's not as big as the one in Orlando, obviously, because the one in Orlando, is 10 times bigger than it. Because it's like
is that on 17 or 9?
It's the one on 17. I'm sorry, the one on 501. Yeah. But it's got a little bit of stuff. Like they got the $20 bras and the $10 bras and the $3 body sprays and stuff like that. So they have the little stuff. They don't have all the big time stuff, but I mean, at least it's something,
Yeah.
Yeah. So Harley was telling me about it because she went there and she was like, I said, man, I've told them people, because I used to go into one in Orlando and tell them all the time, you need to get one in Myrtle Beach. You need to get one in Myrtle Beach to do really good. And they finally listened. I mean, they didn't listen to me, but at least they started.
They put one in.
No, I told them I should have shares on that since I told them this forever and ever.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Pay up, buddy. You owe me this time.
Do what?
I said I'd be like, pay up, buddy. You owe me big time.
Uh-huh. No. So
I hate Apple products. Lord God, I hate them.
What kind of products?
Apple products.
Oh, I love Apple products.
This iPad's getting on my nerves because I can't find my factory charger, and I'm having to use a off-brand charger, and it won't work, and it's being a pain in the butt because I don't know if it's I think the cord is the original, but the plug, the box, is not.
Yeah.
So I just want to cut through.
Well, if the box has a certain power to it, that'll help. You can change it.
Well, see, I think I'm using a fast charging box.
Yeah.
And that fast charge is not working because I guess it's intended to use fast chargers. I don't know. I just want to be a pain in the ass.
I forgot to tell you, I'm at 79 books.
79 books read?
Yeah, I would have read more, but
we're going to give you a book certificate so you can get free pizza.
Well, and now, like, I tell you what, now that I read so much, my vocabulary has expanded and my spelling for sure has got better. But,
you remember those? You used to get those book certificates when you read so many books at school.
Yeah.
You get a free personal band pizza.
Yeah, I'm always telling people to send me books now because I'm like, because I read all the books here, and then I have to donate them to the jail so I can get more books. So I told Aunt Katrina to send me some the other day, and then Harley sent me some more James Patterson's. And like I always try to be like, I called my dad a minute ago to tell him to send me some, but he didn't answer. But he does put money on my books, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they let you spend your money now?
I just use it on phone calls and on hygiene. I'm in the ward with all the girls that can get commissary, but they're not going to let me get it. So that was the thing about eating. Like, if I could order stuff on commissary or, like, even order ketchup or pepper, sometimes I'd eat more, but, like, I can't even order that because they try to bring me, like, rice with nothing on it, just plain rice.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's no flavor, no salt, no pepper, like, no ketchup, no nothing. And it's like, It's not like I'm at a place that they don't have this stuff because you can buy it on commissary. But, they won't let me.
Oh, that would be like no Mountain Dew, no ketchup. That'd be horrible.
I think I'm at 86 pages on my book. And, it is definitely got some stuff in there that you wouldn't believe, that America won't believe that goes on in the world. I mean, I'm telling you, it goes from comical to crying to wanting justice.
So how do you keep up with current events? Like, do you get to watch TV? Do you get to get on computer?
No, the newspaper, that's all you get. And that's when you do get it. While I'm in medical, I don't get to use it. But I will say that Patrick, when he comes, we talk sports. And so we keep back and forth about sports if I miss it. And then Elizabeth, she came and updated me about the Kardashians, stuff like that. And then people write me. There's a lot of people that write me just like, here's what's going on with the Kardashians. Here's what's going on in sports. Here's whatever. You know who write me about sports?
Mm-hmm.
Travis.
Really?
Yeah, he just gave me like a bunch of updates in sports. Like what was going on in football, like all kinds of stuff like that. And then some of the deputies, if you got a nice deputy working and you're trying to find out like the score of the game or something like that. Now the ward I'm in now, that I was in, they brought me medical, we had TVs in there because they had this, the men's ward, they'll give the men everything because, the men keep this place going. So they always cater to the men. They're going to make sure the men get commissary. They're going to make sure the men get TVs. It's just workout equipment. That's just what they do. And I'm not a sexist person. That's just the truth. But so there we're in the men's ward, so they have TVs. So I did get to watch football last Sunday. We can't hear it, but I got to watch it. We watched the Cowboys game and watched the Panthers for a little bit. And then we watched a couple other things, which I'm kind of mad I'm not in there today watching, but whatever. So yeah, it's like we watched the Masked Singer the other night, but you couldn't hear what they were singing, so you had to just go into the reactions of the judges. You're just like, oh, that person did great. Yeah, but,
I didn't even realize that came back on again. I got to do better with my TV watching.
And guess what? Guess who they voted off?
You have 1 minute remaining.
In week 1, they voted off Aerosmith guy.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Oh, 60 seconds is a minute, huh?
Yeah. All right. I'll let you go. I'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Where to start? Bruh. Okay, look, I don't usually judge people's food choices, okay? But Letecia, weren't you the same person who was like, I need a special diet. I have a sensitive tummy and I can't, and I've got to be fasting. But you bitching because your rice is plain. Shut up. You're lucky they feed. In some country, they don't even feed your ass.
Mm-hmm. There's so much to unpack.
So much.
Oh,
So much. Where should we start?
I just looked at a whole bunch of notes that are all over the page. They're not going to be in order, but the very first thing I saw is now she wants to be a pilot instead of a flight attendant. Yeah, I was a teacher and I wanted to be a pilot. Wait, what happened to flight attendant? Oh, you skipped it. Just like you skipped an actual education. Got it.
Oh, yes. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. There is a difference, right, between changing jobs all the time, because hello, jobs pay you, where you're in college and you're changing around your major. Now, granted, at the beginning, there's a whole lot of prereqs and it doesn't really matter, but that's beside the point. Changing your major to an institution where you're paying them the money is very different than changing career paths where you're getting paid money. Letecia, let's start there. Meanwhile, you steady trashing poor Aunt Brenda. Now listen,
Right.
listen. I am not a friend of Aunt Brenda's. I don't know this woman. I've heard some things that she said that I have been like, okay. But let me just say this. I'm talking about from Letecia's perspective. This is the woman that is keeping you breaded up, ma'am.
Right.
And you trashing her to everybody that you talk to, except for her. You duplicitous bitch.
Right. And that's how she started this second call, which she was kind enough to do prepaid instead of making Amy pay for it.
She's so generous, that Tisha. She's a giver.
Right. But the very first thing that she starts with is Brenda. And in this case, it's like she used Brenda as a palate cleanser. Like the Brenda, them bonding over talking shit about Brenda was going to be like the thing that took them to the next part of the conversation. Did you notice the difference? Okay, so she started a sentence with, "I told Brenda, and about the default. she said that she had somebody call and verify. She had somebody call the dealership and verify that it really was a default. And, okay, first of all, she didn't tell Brenda that. We heard the calls. We heard the calls in order. You
Sure
talked to
did.
Harley and you said, I should tell Brenda. But then by the time we get 2 calls down, you're telling Amy Lowry that you did tell Brenda. I mean,
Right.
that's the evolution of her stories. And then it became,
you talk big behind Brenda's back.
Right. I told Brenda that I had somebody call and verify. And I said, Aunt Brenda, all the jobs you done had. And Amy cut her off right there, but she was getting ready to go into a lie about this whole conversation that she had with Aunt Brenda about how often she changed jobs because, Leticia's telling Aunt Brenda what's what because she's sticking up for Harley.
Right.
That didn't happen.
Didn't happen at all. At all. At all. In fact, what you did, Letecia, was you agreed with Aunt Brenda, and Aunt Brenda was waiting for you to say something. And so while she was waiting for you to say something, she went ahead and told you not to even bother to say anything, basically, which you didn't. And then you got on the phone with Harley and you completely, were like, that damn Aunt Brenda. You know what I mean? Stop it.
Yeah.
Manipulative ass bitch.
Yeah, my inappropriate giggles is because I've got my phone on for StreamYard, but I've got the chat popped out from YouTube, so every once in a while I look up and see a comment. These comments are hilarious.
Yes.
I said pilot, and everybody's like, Pontius Pilot? Like,
Pilates?
Like you said Pilates wrong.
Yeah, you said Pilates wrong.
The chat has been hilarious tonight.
Yes, you guys have. I have to tell y'all, there are over 500 people, and I don't usually get that big, and that's exciting for me. But nobody's had to be banned, timed out, nothing. You guys have been fantastic, and I want to say thank you because I just think that's so cool that you're all here and that you're all not acting like Letecia. You're all acting like you got some home training. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Right. And how about how Brenda lacks empathy and compassion, said Letecia.
Girl, said Letecia of all
said Letecia.
For children.
Right.
Because she's never had children.
Right. Yeah, that's something. And so then, okay, and I did write down, I found it very interesting. So, excuse me, all 3 of the calls that we've listened to so far this evening, we had Amy Bolton and then Amy Lowry and then Amy Lowry are the 3 that we've just listened to. Now, all 3 of those were on October 4th. Amy Bolton was 5:36 p.m. And she's talking about justice and Venus and liver and lungs and vampires and summoning, I mean, you were there. Okay?
Yeah, I was there.
Right. That's her conversation with Amy about the vampires was at 5:36 p.m. Her call to Amy Lowry was 5:58 p.m. And not a damn word about any of that bullshit.
None.
Because that was a dry run. That was, that one with Amy Bolton was just, testing the water. And with Amy, she's perfectly aware of who she is and that there's no damn vampires.
Correct.
And I got a little excited when she said Patrick told her about sports, and then I realized that's one of her attorneys. And not a vampire at all. I mean, maybe he might be. I don't know the guy.
The first thing I thought of was Patrick Starr. I'm not gonna lie. That joke went through my head. Is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick.
Oh my God. So
y'all,
Amy Bolton at 5:36.
SpongeBob, even though I don't have kids. I'm not even going.
Right. Don't judge. Amy Bolton at 5:36, Amy Lowry at 5:58, and then Amy Lowry again at 6:14. Because
maybe
she had to
Leticia's
call
doing
right
lines
back.
of coffee.
She might be. But I just wanted to point out that those 3 calls that we just listened to were basically back to back.
Yes, they were.
Because her audience had changed, so had her mental state.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yes. So when she's talking to Amy Bolton,
Mhm.
she has done lost her mind. She got it back for a brief minute, but most people aren't. I've never heard anybody be that cognizant and aware of their delusions.
Right.
See, that's the thing about delusions, right? The person who's deluded doesn't know that they're deluded. They
Right.
don't know it's delusions. So to be able to differentiate, to know that that the person isn't there is ridiculous. But this is one of the things that they talked about during the trial with her, is that she would have these conversations, one conversation with one person, and then a totally different, her mental state would be completely different with another. And that's just how Letecia
Right.
rolled.
Right. But the thing that she did do is she mentioned, remember last November and December when I had to take that 2 months off work because I lost my
Yes.
mind? Now, she didn't mention, Justice and the Jeep and the stuff and the things. She just mentioned that, she had a mental breakdown in
Right.
November and December of last year. But when she said that, if you listen to it, she absolutely blamed Harley
Yes.
for the reason why she has been in medical.
Yes. Something else that didn't occur. At
Right.
no point or time did Letecia freak out. And this is not the first. Actually, when she talked to Aunt Brenda, we heard that. And then the next call she made was to Harley, or the next call was Harley. And she also told Harley that she was freaking out. Letecia, we've all
Right.
heard you
There was no freak out.
There was no freak
Right.
out. There was no freak out.
Right. But she said, that, she told Harley not to ignore her. Apparently, Harley had ignored her, which takes us back to that call that was redacted, right? In our
Yes.
conversations last night.
Yes.
That Harley had been ignoring her. And so Letecia had a freak out.
Yes. Yes.
And it's Harley's fault that she's in medical. Now, that's not what you hear when she talks to Harley.
No.
3 phone calls ago. No,
Right.
1 day ago. No.
Right.
But because she hasn't talked to Amy Lowry in a while, she's got to catch her up and bring her up to speed with, the new
Right.
versions of the things that allegedly happened.
Right.
You
She's
know.
got to get, she's got to tell her everything that happened at the pity party when Amy wasn't attending.
Right.
That's very important. Letecia, I mean,
Right.
she's just, ugh. I can't take her serious at all. And
No.
I will say this, what I also didn't hear is, hang on, I don't know why this is doing this. What I didn't hear from Amy, we did, is crickets. Whenever she brought up the breakdown that she allegedly have, Amy might as well. It would have been funny if she would have. And you know what I'd like, if anybody happens to in the future, if you're listening to this now or you're listening to this on the replay, if you happen to in the future be in contact with a person who is in jail, who might make the news or whatnot, and somebody, people might be following, could you add a little humor to these jail calls? Now, what would have been funny to me is if when she said, remember that freak out I had, if she would have said new phone, who dis, there's all kinds of stuff that would have been funny if she would have said other than nothing.
Right. Well,
But
and
nothing is everything, really.
And the only other note that I have for that call, and I can't wait to get to the others. Now, I will warn you guys that the next 3 phone calls, the sound is a little bit more difficult. I had to do some tweaking, but we'll get through it the best that we can. In one of them, it's a full-on Letecia whispering ASMR, but I did the best magic I could do without a potion. But I did make a note: cinnamon milk lotion. So, next time I go to edit the next time I go to edit these calls, I'm going to make a potion and we're all going to be okay.
Cinnamon milk and what?
Lotion.
Lotion.
You put the lotion in the potion.
In the potion. Letecia, girl.
Yeah. So the only other note that I have is that on book number 79, Letecia has greatly improved her vocabulary and spelling.
except for using the word default for defect. And
Right.
let me ask you this. How did we read? We were at 78 books yesterday. How are we already at 79? You're
Already
not
at
reading if
79.
you're reading that fast, you're not retaining anything. So I can't imagine that you could read that fast. Can I also just say that maybe it'll be me. I don't like, maybe I will at some point communicate with somebody who's in prison for for an infamous and horrible crime. Can you imagine if they were recording phone calls with me?
Right. Well, and okay, so on the spelling and vocabulary thing, think on the spelling and vocabulary think.
Think.
Um,
Mhm.
Now remember, this is what's the date? So this is October 4th that she's on this phone call.
Yes.
And on October 12th, I'm sorry, on August 12th, she wrote that letter to the judge that was just riddled with misspellings um, and there was a lot of public talk about that. And she was absolutely, even in jail, she was aware. People were writing her all kinds of letters saying what was being said, and people were writing letters about her letter that she wrote to the judge. And I feel like she was sensitive about that. And I don't know that for sure, but in my head, I connected the two. Her making the comment about improving her vocabulary and spelling.
Now
I think
you've
that
put the zombie song in my head, the Cranberries zombie.
right. Um, I think that that was connected in her mind. I can't be sure, of course, but
Well,
I
I
do
mean,
think it was connected. I think that a year ago, if you would have asked her if she needed to improve her vocabulary or spelling, I mean, her opinion of herself was so high, but I do think that she got a lot of pushback on that letter. Not that it gave her any humility, right? I
no,
don't mean to
no,
say that,
no, 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 don't get carried away. Let's not get crazy now. Hey, am I
but
supposed to be on call number 8?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I always second guess myself when you send them to me that I'm clicking wrong. But I
No, no. So it's in the second batch that I sent you. We have 3 more calls for tonight.
okay.
Number 8 is Harley. Number 9 is Harley. They're short calls. But I do want to point out before we play that next call, I already talked to you about the sound quality.
Yes.
Apologies.
That's not your
Um,
fault. You didn't record the call.
right. Um, so the point that I wanted to make, sorry, it's been a really long day.
No, I know, babe. You're
So
fine. You're doing fine.
those 3 calls that we just listened to with Amy, and Amy,
Yes.
all on October 4th. These 3 phone calls that we're getting ready to listen to with Harley, Katrina, they're on October 11th because Letecia ghosted everyone from October 4th to October 11th. Now
She sure
she got,
did.
she stuck her little toe in the water with the vampire speak. She tied up some loose ends, and then from October 4th to October 11th, she's been working on some things. And
She's
that's
done
what we're
some
about.
thanking.
Right, right.
Brace
And
yourselves, y'all. Now, I have not listened to yet because I was watching the Adel. Y'all, after
yeah,
we are done with this, we're going to have a little chitty chat. Okay.
I hope the audio is okay. So I did not amplify the Harley calls because you
Okay.
can still understand what she's saying. But by the
Okay.
time we get to Katrina, it's ASMR. And so I had to amplify only Letitia's part. And I did the best I could. So
Well, look, you did, that's what
yeah.
matters. And we don't have control over the quality of audio, and we can only fix it, but so much.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll get better, over time. This is my first time doing this stuff. Um, so
We're
I'm
just
really,
grateful. I'm just grateful I didn't
yeah.
have to do it because listen, Jen walked me through doing the download because there is a very specific way that you have to do it so that you can, have access to these calls. And it's a tedious process Oh, coolest reviews as a sound engineer. I didn't even think about that. I forgot it. Yeah, he is. All right. And he's really good at it too. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? All right, here we go.
Hi. Hey.
Oh, wait.
I have been freaking out for a week.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
What do you mean?
I can't tell you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Nothing. Working.
How was the work?
Good.
Really?
I was off this weekend, so I didn't have to work.
Wow. Got lucky, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. How's everybody doing?
Good. There was a tornado watch or warning today or something.
Oh, yeah?
We lost power.
Well, it is what happens, I guess, like through December at least.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Just seeing how you were. Sorry it's late. I didn't get to come out because they kept saying they were coming to get me, but they never came and got me the last couple of days. So.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad I know you're okay.
Huh?
He said, I'm glad I know you're okay.
Oh, I was worried about you too. I'm gonna always freak out.
I'm good.
That's good. Anyway, what are you doing tomorrow?
I have to go to work. And then me and Tara are going to Sam's Club to get our clothing.
You're going to Sam's Club?
Yeah. It's just super fresh to be doing it that way than going to the store and keep buying and opening them.
Yeah.
We don't get all the stuff in there, mostly like snacks or like chicken or like drinks.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're okay, and I just want to let you know that I love you and miss you so much.
I love you too.
Talk to Grandma?
Yeah, she was here this weekend.
Oh,
With the church.
with who?
With the church.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Alrighty, then I'll love you so much and be okay. I should be able to call you.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Was this a free phone call?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I might hang up and call you back because I think you get 2 free ones.
Okay.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you.
Well, that wasn't awkward at all. There's so much silence at this point between them. Do you know what I mean? That whatever happened that day on that phone call that they didn't release, had to have been major because
Well, I
you
feel
can
like
still feel the tension between them.
Yeah, well, and so Letitia just ghosted, and
Right.
from October 4th to October 11th, she didn't talk to anyone, and she did it on purpose, and it was for this day when she can start making these calls. And when she started the call with Harley, Harley's like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy to hear from you," and then Letitia's like, "Oh, I can't tell you."
Oh yeah, the
And
Eeyore
then Harley
voice.
immediately is like, "Oh, okay, here we go."
Yeah, we've discovered a new personality of Letitia's, y'all. This is Eeyore speaking. I
Right.
can't
So
tell
during
you.
COVID,
It's so
all of the
scary.
inmates got one free call. At one point, they had two free calls, but now she's at a point where she has one free call. She's about to find that out. But the free call is only 5 minutes. So that call that we just listened to was only like, 4 minutes or whatever. Um, and she's going to call Harley right back. And we might as well go ahead and play that one because
Yeah.
it doesn't last very long at all. It's like a minute or so because it's
Okay.
not actually a free call.
Oh, okay. Okay, here we go.
Was it free?
Yeah, that sounds like it.
No, it wasn't? Okay. I
Mm-mm.
won't keep it run up. So it must be only getting one free one now. So I guess you get one.
That's good.
We used to get two, but I guess it's one now. Okay.
That's good.
All right.
I love you.
All right, love you too. Good night, sweetie.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
So not a whole lot to unpack there, so we're just going to
No.
keep going, okay?
Yeah. Now, so this
right.
is the last call of the night. This is call number 10, and it's with Aunt Katrina. And as far as the timing, again, they're pretty much just back to back. So Harley, and you just heard those.
Right.
The first one, she was a lot quieter and all Eeyore-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in the second
Or
one, she's like, was it free? But she's got more volume to her voice, right?
yes.
This next call with Katrina, I mean, she was whispering. So it'll be real obvious where I enhance the sound.
Okay. Well,
But this is a hell of a call to end it on. I can't wait to talk to you about this next call.
okay, because I haven't heard it yet. All right. I'm going to push
Okay.
play and then I'm going to mute, okay?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Honey, where you been?
Just a lot.
Have you tried calling Harley yet?
Yeah, I just talked to her.
Okay, she's worried.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I guess apparently whenever I I guess I had went somewhere and I had hit my head, and when I did, I don't know, I hit it again or something. I don't really remember, but then I had blood everywhere, and then long story short, I just been in shock because I don't even know what's going on. I didn't even know it. Newspapers, 2020. And I didn't even say much to Harley about it because I'm so confused at what's going on. And I don't even know why I'm here. And they brought me some of my stuff to read, my journals, and I'm just so confused. But they had me I thought I was in a hospital, but I guess I'm just medical, and they just make me sleep on the floor. I don't know why they do this stuff, and people wear all kinds of masks and stuff here. I don't understand, but don't know why they make me sleep on the floor. I'm the only person here that they can sleep on the floor. So I don't know why everyone is treating me like this, or why I'm even here. And I didn't want to say much to Harley because I didn't want her freaking out, but I've just been there trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
She was said she was worried, but they wouldn't come get me for 3 days to let me, they kept saying they'd come get me, but they didn't. I didn't even get a dinner tonight. So, like, people fixed my food where I could eat again. They fixed, like, the meals. But then, I don't know, they wouldn't even, like, they wouldn't even give me dinner tonight. But it's already too late now and the kitchen's closed. So, I don't know.
So you still haven't heard anything from Katie?
I don't know who Katie is. I got these clothes they gave me and I got blood still on them. I'm hoping they could give me a new shirt because there's blood stains all over the whole thing in my shirt because I had blood all on my head from that big lump I had on my head. I guess I accidentally or something hit it again or something. I don't know. I don't really remember. But I just know by reading some of those old journals that they gave me. I guess they took them out and gave them back or something. But I just was reading on some of it. And I know that when they came in to try to take pictures of all the blood that was on me, but I remember I washed it all off. Because I didn't know what else they were going to do to me, you know?
So you think they did it?
I really don't know where it came from. I have blood everywhere, all on my body. It's in my hands, my nails. I haven't got to clean like my body or nothing till now. And I asked them, why do I have to sleep on the floor? And they said that, like here, they have a list, and like I'm like the lowest priority on the list or something like that. Because like, yeah, like the mattress is like deflated. So like, there's not like any air in it hardly. And so I got like this line of bruises on like the side, cause you know how like you sleep on your side. And so like on both my sides, there's like these line of bruises. So I tried to show the nurse lady, and she was just like, I'm so sorry, I don't know why you're on the floor. You're not under any kind of watches or precautions. And the other girl, that she was kind of nice, and she was like, you don't know? And I was like, no. And she was like, you don't know that the people in that classification don't like you? And I was like, what is classification? And so then she started explaining it to me, and I was like, what? Why wouldn't they like me? I don't do anything wrong. I've never done anything wrong. And she was like, well, let's just say a personal vendetta against you. And so that's why you're sleeping on the floor. And then I forgot her name. I had just met her, but she had watched over my room. I think it was like last night maybe. And she told me about it because I was showing her how I still had the blood all over my clothes, and I was trying to get a new outfit. But they wouldn't let me get a new outfit. I haven't got to brush my teeth in like a long time either.
Did it hit to brush your teeth?
No, like in where they have me at, you can have like your toothbrush and like sheets and like all that stuff, and they just won't give me any of the stuff, and I just keep asking them why. The nurses just keep saying that the classification people aren't letting me have anything because I'm low on their priority list.
Mm-hmm.
So.
This don't make no sense.
I'm the only person in there on the floor, and like I ask them about, like, hey, like there was a room that was kind of like across in there that was open that had a bed. And so I asked the guy that was out there, I said, can I go in that room? And he was like, classification is refusing to let you leave off the floor. So I was just like, oh my God. Like, kept asking him why, and he was like, you don't know why? And I'm like, no. And then I was like, well, did they put me on like a watch or something? He was like, no, you're not on any kind of precautions. Because I knew like how, like my sleepwalking was. So I was like, oh, did they put me on like a watch or something? And he was like, no, you're not on any of those. So I just was like, okay, well, can I get a bed? And I even asked him, could I get dinner tonight? And then the guy was like, well, we didn't have people to like open the door. And then I remember the lady came to the door and she had the dinner plate and she asked me to like move. And so I said, okay. So I moved back from the door and I was like, excuse me, can you not put it on the floor? Can you set it like on the bed? And she was like, no, I guess you're not getting dinner then. And she left with it. So I was just like, okay. But they had me because they said that I had eaten in like 8 days. That's what they said. But then like, I don't remember any of this. So then like, the lady where I came out to use the phone, she was like, you don't remember how you didn't, the diet wasn't right? And so she was explaining it to me just a minute ago, and she was like, you said you weren't going to eat till they fixed it. So the medical lady was like, well, we fixed the diet for you. You don't have to worry about it with your stomach. And so I was like, well, why am I getting punished because I wanted something better for my stomach? So I just really can't get any like straight answers. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know.
So have you seen the doctor?
No. There's no doctors here. There's only nurses here. And then like the people are wearing like all these like masks because they're saying that like there's some kind of like disease or something that is going on or something. So they have on like all these masks and stuff. And I didn't know like I found letters I had written to you, so that's how I knew like I had talked to you. And so I guess some of the letters didn't get sent out or something. So like I was reading some of them, and that's how I knew that I had talked to you before. And plus it was in my like the journal letters, like when we talked to you and stuff. And so I kind of went back and looked at some of those, but that's how I knew to call you, because I have my little sheet right here with everybody's number on it, and I guess these are all the people that I like called or something. But there's no doctors here. There's just there's like nurses, and there's like all these guards, but the guards are being nice to me. The ones that brought me here to this place, because I was in hospital, but or the hospital side or something, but now I'm not on the hospital side. I guess this is where I have to go use the phone at. But the people in here have been nice. I don't really know them, but I've never seen them before, but they apparently knew about the whole diet thing, so that was helpful. You know what I'm saying? So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm.
But yeah, so I don't know.
So what now?
I said I don't know what else to like give you update on, but that's just all I know right now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really wish I could like have a bed to sleep in, because it would like help, because I haven't slept a lot.
Yeah, that's a little horrible.
Yeah. Especially being like, like freezing cold and stuff, on the floor. Because like the concrete is cold, So. bothered you. I just thought
Don't you bother me. You better hush. I've been worried sick. I hadn't heard from you in almost 2 weeks.
I don't really know what's going on, so it's just so confusing. Like, I feel like I'm like high or something right now because my chest hurts from trying to like figure out everything, and I can't like hardly breathe because I'm like some kind of culture shock, and I don't understand what these people are even talking about. And
Yeah.
I just feel confused.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I asked him about could I get my my head checked more because of what happened. Because I saw in one of the journal things that I had fell and hit my head and passed out. And so I guess something happened again. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. I just remember I had blood all over me. But they just were like, just get rest and lay down.
You have 1 minute remaining.
If you get rest and lay down, you'll be better. That's all they kept telling me. Because when I tried to get them to tell them about the blood, they said they didn't have a lot of people to open the door, whatever that meant. So they said go back to sleep, and whenever we get a lot of people to open the door, we'll come in there. So, anyway.
That makes no sense.
I don't really know what's going on. I'm so confused, and like I feel like I'm high because I'm trying to like talk and say it all, and I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack the next minute. I don't know any other way to talk without having like a heart attack. You know, you're not breathing okay, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
I had to do my big sigh before we came back on.
I'm doing it now.
You know what, that turned out, so, that's the first time I've heard it on YouTube. That turned out way better than I thought it was going to as far as the audio.
Fine.
Yeah, it was fine, but I wasn't sure about it, because I would have to luckily Aunt Katrina hardly said anything, because I had to leave hers at the regular volume, and then I just had to pull out, Leticia's parts and try to, I'm not Justice pulling out like her liver.
Or lungs.
Right.
Potentially.
Oh, I'm so glad that worked out. I was listening and I was now at the same time, so that way we could hear the bullshit that was coming out of her mouth. At the same time, it hits a little differently when she's not whispering it like this.
Yes, it does.
So on one hand, I was really glad that we could hear it all, but what we lost was the pathetic nature of the volume, because that does add to
the overall effect.
Exactly.
Listen, Jen, you robbed Letecia of her finest acting moment because you adjusted the audio. Way to go.
Right. Good job, Jen. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks, Jennifer. Lord. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Okay, first of all, actually, we're going to start at the end because the heart attack thing. Now, this is a ploy that Letecia has used before. We're all aware of this. Think back to the interrogation room when she felt like she was having a heart attack. They asked her name and she said 27. Remember all that, This is one of those ruses that Letecia has employed before. And it's every bit as ridiculous as the first one, and it has really about the same impact. First of all, everybody who's ever had a panic attack will know when your heart is racing, right? Because that's the only thing I can equate it to. Now, a heart attack is something different, but when your heart is racing and you do experience a shortness of breath, and when you're trying to speak, and you don't even have to have a heart attack or even a panic attack. Just do some cardio for a little bit, get that heart rate going, and if you get it going high enough, you won't be able to talk through the heart, because you'll be out of breath. She's not out of breath. She's just talking low.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. Letecia, please don't try out for the Topeka prison Christmas
talent show.
and try to get up there and do some kind of damn soliloquy or some such nonsense, because it ain't gonna work. You do not have the acting gene, ma'am. This is terrible. And then the shit that she can but can't remember. They gave me my journals. If what happened to her really happened, all right, if this were a true event that actually happened, can you imagine waking up and not knowing where you were for a minute, and then realizing this is very different than how did I get from the couch to the bed?
Right.
This is how did I get from freedom to a damn prison, to a damn jail? So,
right.
Can you imagine how freaked out you would be? She doesn't sound freaked out at all. At all.
Right. And yeah, I mean, imagine you did lose your memory in November of 2019, and you come to in October of 2020 in jail for murder during COVID. And that's your performance? Give me a break.
Right. And you're right, Mara, but what I'm saying is some people's resting heartbeat is faster than the average person. But see, they live with that all the time. So for them, that is their normal. I have tachycardia. I'm supposed to be taking a beta blocker for it, but I don't like the way the beta blocker makes me feel. And I asked if it was harmful to me for me to have a fast heartbeat, and they said no. So anyway, but I'm used to it. I'm used to having my fast heartbeat. This is how I was made. But when I exercise and I bring my heart rate up above where it normally is, if I'm doing it hard enough, I will be out of breath. And she should be out of breath for her heart to be racing in a way that's not normal for her. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. So she's saying that, she just kind of came to, and, she doesn't remember anything. She doesn't even know that she's been talking to Aunt Katrina for 7 months. The only reason she knows that she's been talking to her is because of those journals and some letters that she saw. And, so that's how she knows that part, and and then, she talked to Harley, but, she couldn't really tell Harley what was going on. I mean, the story doesn't go together.
Well, she wanted to spare Harley from a freak out. Since when, Letecia?
Right, exactly.
Since when? Ridiculous. There was something else I was going to say, but then I got distracted. Hold on, let me look at the chat because. So
this was all about the head injury, the new head injury. She's already had other head injuries, right? And how she kind of gently mentioned, I'm a sleepwalker, or, she mentioned that she's a sleepwalker. Well, that came because, Aunt Katrina was helping her for a long time with, the whole grievance process. And there was a while, where Letecia was really upset, and it came out, it's one of the bullet points on her federal lawsuit, where she couldn't sleep on the top bunk because she sleepwalks and she'll fall out of the bunk and hurt herself. And so that's something that their medical negligence is responsible for, because she's getting head injuries in the jail because they're forcing her to sleep on the top bunk, and she has an issue with sleepwalking.
Oh,
excuse
God.
me, which I'm sure she probably never had before. But, she's afflicted by now because she wants her way and they won't give it to her. But I really like how she's talking about how she comes to and she's covered in blood and there's blood everywhere. And they won't even go into her room. They're like, well, just get some rest because,
Rub
there
some
has
dirt
to
on
be
it. You'll be okay. Walk it off.
right. Robitussin. Put some Windex on it.
Where's the bust out the Vicks Vapor Rub? That fixes everything. Ask my
Right.
Nana. She'll tell you.
Right. But they can't even open the door if it's just one deputy. So, and she's just saying in this pathetic way. Now, I am so looking forward to tomorrow night. The next 10 calls, and we're gonna go over all 10 tomorrow. But the next 10 calls, shit gets wild, you guys. Because, okay, so tonight she started with Amy Bolton and she broke out Justice and Venus, right?
Right.
And then
Right.
she spoke with Amy Lowry and she talked, about how she had the mental breakdown in November.
Right.
And then we
Right.
skip 7 days forward, which that's another thing. So on October 4th, she's saying she hasn't eaten for 2 weeks. And October 11th, she's saying they told her that she hadn't eaten for 8 days.
The math
she
ain't
does,
mathing.
yeah, it doesn't math. Shut it, now I lost track. Talking
Sorry.
about how she lost track. No, it was my fault. It was my fault. I'm the one that branched off on that fasting stuff. Anyway, then the next 10 calls. So, okay, so we started with Amy Bolton with the vampire stuff, and then we had a tamer version with Amy Lowry, which was the mental break stuff. And
Right.
then we skip forward 7 days, and we have Harley where she uses the low tone, but doesn't really get into it. And then we have the call with Aunt Katrina where she's had a head injury, amnesia, and a mental break with blood everywhere. And tomorrow night, in these next 10 phone calls, imagine her taking all of those ingredients from all those different people and springing it all together as one story that's all happening simultaneously, and then going down the line of her contacts and just honing the story. Tomorrow night's going to be a shit show, you guys. I can't wait.
I know. I can't wait either. I mean, Lord Jesus, fix it. She's just whatever. I can't even look. None of this makes sense. This is all a setup, you guys. Like Jen said, this is how she rolls. But it's but we're here for it. Here for it. I'm here for it. Here for it. So keep an eye out. I'm working on the video for the calls that we've already heard.
Comparing it to the jail file.
Comparing it to the jail file. So
Yeah,
there'll be a video tomorrow. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about briefly before I let you go is Jen, Curious, and I are still doing our American Horror Story thing. We're just going to have to move some times around because of these jail calls and want to get these out to you guys. But also, I really want to talk about the Adelson trial. Hi, Shamina. Love you too. 16 months. Thank you so much, babe. Because the Adelson trial is wild AF. And if y'all have not been watching it, y'all are missing out. I'm telling you. So I got to get with the girls, figure out our game plan as far as these. Now I know we're going to be on Allie's tomorrow, but and
the time is different tomorrow.
And the time is different. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern, not 9 p.m. Eastern. So, and then we probably will have to take a couple of days of a break from the calls, just because it's necessary. But those are the days. Don't y'all worry. We're going to go over that Adelson trial. So if you guys are interested in that trial, maybe catch up on what you've missed over the weekend, and we'll whatever. But I am definitely, while we take a break from these calls, we'll be going over the Charlie Adelson trial, because that thing is, they wilding out in that trial. It's good. All right. So thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it so very, very much. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow over at Alex Erickson's channel at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. All right. Bye.
Bye.